How's it going, everybody? Nick DiVirgilio back at PASIC 2017, hanging with Andrés Forero, drummer for Hamilton. It's really wonderful to have you here, man. Thanks so much for coming and spending a few minutes with me and talking and saying hello.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
I watched your clinic earlier today. It was fabulous.
Thank you so much.
I was sharing with Andrés. I did Cirque du Soleil for 5 years, and you were playing along to a video of you in the drum pit along with your MD. And a few other musicians.
Percussionist, yeah.
Yeah, right. And then I saw your drum parts going down, following along with the video. It was really cool to see, well, you on the live stage, but also see what you do every night for your gig, and it's a really cool process.
Thanks, man. I have a great team that helped me with that, and our plan was to really put together a video that would invite the audience into the pit, so they could get a feeling, because it's hard for people to get to New York, and it's even harder to get into the pit. So to be able to share with them, the video kind of makes it so that if you have a question, it's almost answered by the video. Our percussionist, Benny Rayner, is in the right-hand corner. Our conductor, Kurt Crowley, is in the left corner. And the drums are muted, but you see me actually playing. So I basically recorded a show minus drums and played along with that.
Right.
So it's kind of cool as well, because you can see where there's consistency in the choreography of the show, and then where there's some subtle differences, you know?
Sure.
So it was a lot of fun to do it.
Now, the drum music you're playing to, how specific do you have to play those parts every night? Is there any leeway in the grooves at all? Kick drum patterns? Or, if you mess it up or if you change it a little bit, is that okay? Or do you have to stay pretty solid along with the music?
That's a really good question. You have to pretty much stick to it.
Okay.
Especially the kick drum patterns, because the percussionist is playing that same pattern with you, and the bass player is playing the same pattern with you. Yeah. So if you go off by a 16th note or an 8th note, whatever, it throws off the cohesiveness of that groove. Now, there are other areas, like in a dance break, where you can put in like a little fill or a little kick, but you have to land back on the music. So you have some license, but not that much.
Okay.
So.
And now, how long have you been doing this particular show?
I've been doing it since off-Broadway.
So before it was the big thing that it is now, yeah.
Yep. So I came off the road with I was on tour with the Book of Mormon, and I went pretty much straight from the airport to the public theater and played my first show. And, it's been an incredible ride for me.
Yeah.
But the drummer for the Book of Mormon started Hamilton at the public theater. It's a wonderful drummer. And he was there probably 2 months, and he workshopped the entire show because I was on tour. So, and he'd spent a good 2 years with that show before I even knew that it existed.
Yeah, a lot goes into putting up, to getting a show to Broadway.
Yeah.
There's a lot of effort and a lot of time that goes into something like that.
It's a lot, yeah. So by the time I got to it, it had already been sort of a well-oiled machine, and but it was a wonderful experience to come off of another show and go into that show having, replacing someone that I admire greatly.
Right. So here's a question for you, and I kind of know the answer because I did it with Cirque, similar to what you do. I played in a drum booth. You're not in front of the audience. You're supporting the cast that's up on stage doing the show.
Yeah.
So can you tell us, your feelings? What's it like where, you're not seen, you're only heard, you're not, as a drummer, you want to entertain.
Yeah.
It's part of it's like in our DNA. We want to have people see what we're doing, but in these kinds of situations, you're not. You're in a pit. So what's it like for you? Was it ever something you kind of had struggled with at the beginning, or no, it's just something you don't really...
No, I could care less, to be honest, man. Like, this situation is larger than that.
Right.
It's almost cosmic in a sense for me, that it's not about me.
Well, of course.
It's not about us. It's about the show and the story. So, you learn a lot about how to be more selfless. And there's really no ego. There's no room for it.
Right.
So if you do your job the right way, people will see you. They just don't see the physical you. They hear you, and what you're contributing is actually the leading role that's invisible, which is the music. So it's kind of it transcends, I think, that.
Yeah,
so.
no, that's a great answer. Really cool.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you too that there's a lot of pathways in music to make a living, to do stuff. It's not always being in a band on a stage and that kind of. There's other ways to play, whether it's doing Broadway or teaching or whatever. There's all kinds of pathways to get to make money at your instrument.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
And, someone said something here. I think it was Adam Deitch when he was doing his clinic. That, you know, if you're doing it for the money, you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Well,
you know, and that really resonated with me.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, Sweetwater, we're a gear retailer. We're all about
gear. I love
gear.
Sweetwater.
And let's talk about your gear.
Yeah.
Because you play a lot of great gear, and you have a couple interesting things. So, make sure I get all the endorsements correct.
Yeah.
You play Sonar drums, which are fantastic.
Yeah, proudly played.
But you endorse Tama Hardware.
Yes, Tama Hardware.
So you play the pedals like Iron Cobra pedals or Speed Cobras?
That's right. Yeah, I play the Iron Cobra.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're great. Those pedals are really special for me because I was in a car accident some years back, and those pedals have a spring underneath them, and I have problems with my back and with my legs and stuff. So it helps me so that I don't have to work as hard. That spring allows really a wonderful reflex to the pedal. So it was a great marriage for me.
Very cool.
And the pedals are great and the people are wonderful.
Yeah.
So.
For those of you who don't know, under the foot plate of an Iron Cobra pedal, there's the spring he's talking about.
Yeah, it's great.
So, and Vickford sticks?
Vickford sticks for as long as I can remember.
And what size do you play? Do you have your own stick, or what do you
No,
play?
no, I don't have my own stick. I use the AJ1.
Okay.
I use the A1, and I also use Russ Miller's drumstick.
Okay.
And I use Tommy Igoe's drumstick as well.
Very good, very good.
I'm sort of a stick
mix and match
whore.
stuff, yeah. Cool. And what else? It's
Sabian
cymbals, great.
Sabian's very special to me. My second son is named Sabian.
Okay.
And the family are like godparents to my kids.
That's awesome.
So,
well, they're great people there.
They're amazing.
And the product speaks for itself. It's amazing.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Remo drumheads since forever.
Okay.
Chris Hart is just that. He's all heart. I love him. Yeah.
Very good. And did I miss anything? Is that the bulk of it all?
Yamaha DTX.
That's right, because you have the multi-pad right in front of you.
That's right. Yeah. And I use the big fat snare, which is very important. I use a thing called the Cymbalt. The big fat snare and the Cymbalt they're very little. They're small companies, but they pack a punch, man.
Oh my God, the big fat snare I use it all the time.
Me too. Every
great
night.
Product.
I'd be screwed without that and without the Cymbalt.
Yeah.
So the Cymbalt, I put the little splash on it, and I stick that on the snare drum, and I play a groove on the splash, and then I just pull it off, put it on the thing. Before I had the Cymbalt, my finger was getting all cut up because I'd put it in the hole of the cymbal to pull it, and it was like a complete mess. So that's been a great addition. And I also work with RME, and I'm working with Soundbrenner now. Soundbrenner makes this wonderful watch that you can put on your body. So I'm deaf in my left ear, so I need something that pulsates, and that has a wonderful option I wear it on my body, around my chest, and I practice with that rather than using headphones. But I can use both, so I can put headphones on, have the watch around my body, and it's being triggered by an app. It's just one of the best inventions out there, so
very cool,
very proud to use that.
Well, that's all great information there. So what's next for you? You're doing clinic here, and you're still doing the show in New York?
Yeah.
What else is going on?
So I did I'm doing 2 dates at the Jazz Standard with this incredible guitar player who's blind. His name is Raul Midon, and he's a guitar player. He also does mouth trumpet, and he plays bongos at the same time. If you get a chance to YouTube this guy, Raul Midon, there's a tune called Sunshine, and you get to see it. I mean, I've never in my life connected with a musician or music like I've connected with this guy, and I get to work with him, with our bass player Richard Hammond, the 26th and 27th of December.
Awesome.
Then I'm off to Hawaii, and the schedule gets nuts from there. So
great, man. Well, thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you. It's an
honor.
honor.
A few minutes talking about gear and your life and your career. Congratulations on everything you've achieved so far, and I wish you nothing but the best for the future.
Thank you for welcoming me here, man. I appreciate
Thanks
it.
a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, everybody.
Thank you.